All right. Let us begin this evening. This evening's discussion is, what does it mean to walk the left-hand path? Well, before we get further into that part of the discussion, let's just rehash a little bit of information. First of all, walking the left-hand path, a lot of times you're dealing with the sinister current. The sinister current is a current that has its roots in more what would be considered adversarial archetypes. Some people call them gods, goddesses, demons, things of that nature. Why is that utilized? Well, first and foremost, it's utilized because you're doing a current that is against the norm, against what is commonly practiced or accepted, which would be the right-hand path. And the reason you're using the adversarial current is because you're trying to reprogram yourself from all the garbage that's been fed to you through religion, culture of the society you live in, society itself, our parents' programming, which they were programmed by the same things we are. So in order to reprogram yourself, you have to literally go into yourself and destroy the very parts of yourself that is that programming. Not to mention your shadow side, which is the issues and the trauma and anything else that came during your raising in this society and through your family. We're looking at that because you have to understand your whole purpose to walk this path is to destroy that which you once were. Not the parts that are great about yourself, beneficial. The parts that are not so lovely about yourself is what you're trying to confront and transform if it's possible. That doesn't mean, and keep this in mind, that doesn't mean that if you were such a sweet and nice person, but you've gotten taken advantage of your whole life, that you should still be sweet and nice. Contrary to that, you should not still be a nice person, okay? That doesn't mean you have to become an asshole either. It just means that you're waking up to the fact that being nice, when you look at its etymology, literally means dumb, stupid, or ignorant, okay? And that is exactly what the society has duped you to become. Nice to the point that you're used, abused, and hurt through that process. Because most of the time, people do things because they're getting some brownie points for it. And what I mean by the brownie points is literally just that. You think that if you do something, you're going to get a reward for it by doing it. That's not necessarily true. You might not get a damn thing for your niceness, but we're programmed somewhere, somehow, to think that I'm going to receive a pie in the sky. And if I keep being nice, then it makes me a great person and it makes me or gives me entrance into heaven. Regardless if we think so or not, that is deeply embedded within our subconscious mind. And this is why people act the way they do. So when you start to walk that path of going against the norm, you're going to start walking a sinister current. That doesn't mean you become sinister and you become, really crazy. It just means you're going against what you've been taught. To do that, it's not enough to be sweet and nice. You're going to have to be actually an asshole towards yourself first and foremost, meaning You got to stop babying yourself. You got to stop making excuses for your failures and pointing the finger to other people. You got to stop blaming everything other than yourself. You really need to take responsibility for you and you alone. Responsibility for your actions, responsibility for your failures, responsibility for all the things that have led you to today's life today. Not only that, the left-hand path is a path that deals with the darker side, the primal side, the chaotic side. These archetypes are very raw and primal in nature, like Abaddon, destructive force, like Set, individuated consciousness, but can have very ferocious temper. Okay. It also activates, the left-hand path also activates the demonic feminine, the female principle that has been really taken out of mainstream religions, where they made everything masculine to suppress the feminine, because the power of the feminine is more profound than what has been literally discussed. Yeah, there's a lot of people who say the woman is God and all this. Yes, but how deep do they really understand that? A lot of times people just regurgitate this because they're trying to get in your panties. No, the real reality is that when you understand the demonic feminine principle, you understand that most of your warrior principles in a lot of ancient civilizations had a strong feminine current of females that will whip your ass and not think twice about it. Not just Kali or Durga, not just Sekhmet, but you have Hecate, okay, or Hecate. You have Lilith. You have Arachne, which is like the spider goddess. You have a lot of these different currents, all demonic feminine currents that activate the warrior principle in the female, okay? Yes, women have a nourishing, caring, motherly nature because they give birth to the child that comes through their womb. But don't get it twisted. Women have a strong warrior type energy, and that is what men are afraid of. Well, the left-hand path activates that part so that the female can truly become herself and be complete. Many times people are incomplete in their path. And what I mean, even people walking the left-hand path are incomplete, because your goal is to activate all parts of you that you have failed to integrate into your total existence. For example, many people came through the conscious community, and everything in the conscious community is about promoting the melanin, the African. That's understandable. And to a point, it has its place, but to a point. Meaning, if you're African American, okay, and we by nature believe, okay, I'm African American, so I'm totally African. This is conscious programming, by the way, conscious community programming. That's incorrect. A lot of African Americans have other DNA in them. Most people here in America have a mixture of DNA. So if you are, let's say, 90% African, but you have 10% Caucasian in you, yes, you're predominantly African, but you still have a European DNA that is within you, and you have to accept that part of yourself to become a complete integrated being. See, when we come from the conscious community, the first thing we do is try to shun anything that is not African. And you're doing a disservice to yourself, because 10% may not sound a lot. But if you have 10 people in a room, okay, that are your family, there's one white person or Caucasian person there. That's a lot, whether you think so or not, but put 10 people there and that one of them is there. That means out of every 10 people, one of them in your family is Caucasian. That still has an effect on you, whether you believe so or not. This is why some African Americans gravitate towards certain kinds of music that wouldn't be considered so-called Black music, okay? This is why some African Americans have a tendency to be attracted to, let's say, the Druid current, okay? This is why some of them can like rock music or heavy metal, all right? It's in your DNA, so it's going to come out. Now, here's the thing. When you walk the left-hand path, your goal is to integrate all of that. So you may have to understand that what you are working with, you have to really understand that it may activate parts of yourself that have long been laying dormant because of the conscious community programming you might have come through, or anything else like that. So it's about integrating the masculine, the feminine, integrating every part of yourself that is within your DNA, integrating all of these things to become a complete and whole being, okay? And most of our life, most of us live the right-hand path, okay? Now, this is the point in time we're finally coming where we're becoming more complete beings because we're now walking the left-hand path. So we already walked the right-hand path. We got that. We understand that. We lived that for years. Now you're doing the left-hand path. You're becoming more of a complete being. You understand there is a purpose to that. This is why we utilize and call it the left-hand path, because that's the path that has been shunned for years. That's the path that has been looked upon as negative or don't work with it. But Carl Jung understood that, or Jung, however you want to pronounce it, understood that completely. He said, you know, most time people spend all their life basically trying to become enlightened by imagining figures of light. Everything is the light side, the light side. But you cannot be enlightened through the light side. You become enlightened by the dark or the shadow side of yourself, because now you basically, in so many words, are integrating that most shunned part of yourself. All right? The left-hand path, however, is not just found in the Western occultism. It's also found and predates a lot of the Western occultism. It's found in India. It's found in Kemet. It's found in Africa, West Africa, and different places, okay? But in India, we know it as Vama Marga, or the left-hand path of Tantra, which is a more direct way to divinity, more powerful than Dakshina Chara, okay, or the right-hand path. It is a path that is still connected to Shiva, but it activates that feminine principle through Kali and going into that dark, destructive part of ourselves, and understanding the taboos of society by actually partaking in the taboos and understanding within the taboo is the divine, is the sacred, because that's the part of yourself you've most denied in your walk. That's the part of yourself you refuse to face in your travels. So it has its purpose. Your greatest purpose when you walk, and what does it mean to walk the left-hand path? Your greatest purpose is to become the sovereign ruler over yourself. That's what it means to walk the left-hand path, is to become the sovereign ruler over yourself. No longer are you ruled by society. No longer are you ruled by these so-called self-appointed messiahs, these organizations, these customs and cultures that tend to suppress the individual, tend to suppress what it means to be Seth or Lucifer, what it means to be the self. You no longer are doing that. You now are understanding what it means to be a sovereign ruler. meaning you are now free from the programming of society. And you understand that the biggest threat to society is not a group of people united, because you have to really understand that when a group unites, they become like sheep. You can easily influence them and throw some new bones to them to keep them trapped in another level. The biggest threat to society is the individual. The one person or people who have taken the walk on the left-hand path, who now stand alone and no longer can be fooled. They no longer fall for the politics, because they understand that politics is just that, tricks for kids. You can no longer be swayed by fads. You can no longer be influenced by the newest technology. And oh man, I got to get the new iPhone 11 and all this. You're not hooked into all this hoopla going on around you. When you do things now, it's because you're doing it out of your own free will and accord and becoming the master over yourself. Now, what other ways does the left-hand path reveal itself? Many people have gone into the Kabbalah. But of course, we understand that there's the opposite side to the Kabbalah, or what is called the Tree of Night, which is the dark side of the Tree of Life. You have to understand that not only that, there's also elements in Voodoo. Hold on. I heard somebody just come in. Give me a second. All right. There it is. I got it. You have to understand in Voodoo, there's also left-hand path elements. For those who still feel like they have to cling on to African traditions, there is a left-hand path element in Voodoo. It's called there's like the red house or the red temple, or the part of that aspect of Voodoo, Kabrit Tomozaus or Tamozus, which is similar to the Klepothic system. It's also found in the Hindu, the cults of the Agora. If you haven't studied or researched or know who the Agora are, they are the sect that practices left-hand path to the max in India. And everybody should study up on them, because it will help you really understand and reveal certain aspects of what it means to break the taboos. Okay? Now, here's what's familiar and similar about the left-hand path. They all present initiatic path. Now, don't get startled because you've been convinced by some fools that you shouldn't be initiated. That's very incorrect. The reason why people tell you shouldn't be initiated is because they're the ones trying to control you. What it means to be initiated in the left-hand path is self-initiation. You are initiating yourself into the path of the left hand. You're not joining an organization. You're not joining a society. You simply are initiating yourself in whatever current of the left-hand path you resonate with. Whether it's the Luciferian current, whether it's the current of Azazel, whatever you choose, that's where you gravitate to. And you initiate yourself through that by doing certain self-initiations to really understand let's say Lucifer. Lucifer in itself predates even this Hebraic concept of Lucifer, the Bible concept of Lucifer, because the current of Lucifer, or what would be similar to the draconian current, can and has been found way before this modern version of Lucifer today, based upon the Kabbalah, based upon Hebrew or Hebraic, based upon any of those monotheistic themes. It predates all of that. And what you do is when you self-initiate yourself in that, you walk that path or that current for as long as it takes you to master yourself. You will learn various aspects of Lucifer and the different masks that would represent Lucifer in different cultures or different traditions, or let me not say traditions, different cultures or different systems, okay? You would walk that till you fully understand. The problem is what happens with many people when they join the left-hand path is they're so accustomed to jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, that they do themselves a disservice. To be self-initiated leads to being disciplined, having self-discipline. To be disciplined means I'm not going to jump. If I'm walking and working with Lucifer, I'm going to stick to that till I really, really understand it, master that aspect within myself, and get multiple and great results from walking that path. I mean, that current, okay? It's not about, okay, well, in my dream last night, Pillsbury Doughboy came and said I should work with him. So let me go get a fat Pillsbury Doughboy, put him on my altar, and dress it up and work with it. What it means is that in that archetype that's shown up in your dream, let's say you just walked in Lucifer, that archetype that just showed up in your dream has a aspect of Lucifer in it. That's what you have to try to understand when that shows up in your dream. Okay, what aspect of Lucifer does this Pillsbury Doughboy represent? Okay, and then when you continue, you'll start to get even more in-depth understanding and results in your work. The initiatic tradition, let me stop with this damn tradition. The initiatic systems in the left-hand path is about immortality and self-deification. You're renewing your primordial energy. That's associated with darkness, the feminine lunar current, the masculine solar current, and integrating the two. That is what you work. That is what you do when you become initiated in the left-hand path. Your process of self-deification is not to bug the hell out and trip out, and all of a sudden, you the God to everybody. All of a sudden, you're sent to the world. That's a path of delusion. That's when you start misunderstanding teachings, and your ego, which is necessary in the left-hand path, because you exalt the ego and you crucify the false ego. What is the difference? The false ego is the one that makes you think that you're Amun-Re reincarnated. That's the false ego. That's the mother effer you need to crucify and destroy, because that's the one that has led you into the path of stupidity and failure. You are not Amun-Re of the past. Amun-Re did not incarnate into you, and Amun-Re is not speaking to you to give messages to the masses. If your ego is that big, I can see why your ego needs to be destroyed. Like, really, you think you there for everybody. Not on this path, homeboy or homegirl. That's not how we do it. On this path, you are your own deity, your own God, and your own demon. And there's no one above you and no one below you. You just are. You do not care if someone's greater than you or lesser than you. What you care about is that you keep growing, developing, and transforming. And if there's others who are walking that path and they're working on themselves transforming, then you start building a mental wavelength and a link with people who are like-minded for real. Not some fake, oh, we're like-minded because we both like the same color. Please cut it out. All right? You start to really connect on that wavelength because you acknowledge this person is their own God. I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to rule you. I'm not trying to do nothing but maybe share some insight that may help you in your walk to help you get there. I don't want followers. I don't want people worshiping, bowing down. But unfortunately, the right-hand path leads to that mentality, allows for that to foster, which then creates your cults, your cultish groups who exalt one person above others, and all of a sudden, this one person has answers for you. Now, think about this. How the hell does that person have the answer to your problems? That's some big ass ego shit. You personally have the answer for my personal problems. You haven't walked a day in my life. You haven't walked in my shoes. How the hell do you personally have an answer to my problems? I repeat this over and over in every video and every shadow work. I'm not anybody's savior or anything. I'm just sharing my shit from walking this shit for over 30 years, sharing, and if it works for you, great. If it don't, find what does. This is why many times when people say thank you, thank you, thank you, a lot of times I say, no, thank yourself. You the one doing the work. I'm just sharing with you certain things that may benefit or help you. That's it. So you start to understand what it means to deify self and exalt the true ego and destroy the false ego. Destroy the delusional part of yourself that has led you into stupidity of following other people who swear they have an answer for you, who swear they were sent to you, and then they feed you their subjective experiences as if it's true, and people jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, they're so deep, they're so profound. Please. Most of these fools, and I can guarantee you who are out there doing this in YouTube land, have never been initiated in a goddamn thing in their life. And that's why they tell you you don't need to be initiated, because they don't understand that when you are initiated, it causes a change in you. It causes, through the cycle drama, a change in your psyche that allows you to start the process to really go inside yourself and change, transform, and destroy and master. That cycle drama is necessary. For those who came to the Journey of the Black Adept Conference in Miami, they're still having profound changes still taking place from the rituals that were done that night. And sorry, those 3 days we were there. They're still feeling it. They're still having dreams. They're still being opened up. Because that self-initiation process causes wonders that you yourself will be baffled about when you start to self-initiate yourself. All right. It's also about your spiritual progress. Okay? your spiritual progress and working and walking your spiritual path. On the right-hand path, what the main goal is to annihilate your existence. Annihilate who you are. Forget about who you are. Merge into the greater macrocosm. Merge into the universe. Merge into allness. That's very convenient, by the way, because that leads to laziness. That leads to the problems of the world. Because if my ultimate destination is heaven, fuck what I do now. I'm just going to be treacherous because God forgives all. Really? Nah. See, not this path. We take responsibility for even our treacherous ways and understand that everything you do, homeboy, homegirl, has a consequence. Whether it's beneficial or detrimental, it all has a consequence. Everything you do has a consequence. What you say has a consequence. The actions you take have a consequence. But on this path, you start to learn how to manifest, how to bring into fruition more of the beneficial results that you need. But we don't run from the detrimental results. We embrace that shit. We say, bring it on. Let me take it. Let me hug it. Let me kiss that part, because that's the part that's going to teach me more. It's not about peace, love, and light, and let me sit here and meditate and on my own and all this, because I'm not saying that doesn't work, because a lot of that stuff can work if you know what you're doing. What I am saying is that if that's all you think you have to do, you're sadly mistaken. Like, sadly mistaken. That's the easy way. That's the shortcut. That's the problem with the right-hand path. I just merge into one. Nah, sorry. This path, we embrace the dark. We embrace the evil aspect. If I use that term, I'm using it loosely only because that's what people understand. We explore and accept the evil part of ourselves. Okay? We confront that part of ourselves. I say, okay, why do I act such a fool when people trigger me on certain things? Well, see, because we confront that, we identify where it came from, then we confront it. I mean, we identify what it is, then we confront it, meaning we go into the in-depth into where it came from. Then we decide this is something I can still use or something I need to just get rid of. It ain't running away from it. Jesus, please help me. Lord, please help me for my treacherous ways. And then you pray. You go to church on Sunday, and then Monday you out there doing the stupid same thing you just prayed about. This is what causes this insanity in this world today, because nobody's taking responsibility for their bullshit. If you don't take responsibility for your bullshit, who's going to do it? You're the only one that can take responsibility for your own stuff. Stop giving your power to other people. Stop worshiping other people. Stop. It pains me sometimes. This is why I don't be on fucking social media like that. When I see a million freaking memes or videos of the same damn teachers over and over, and I'm like, damn, you fools really worship these people. Like, you don't realize you just crossed the line from, oh, I'm learning or getting information, to I'm literally sucking this dude's dick. And that's what a lot of y'all do that are now trying to walk the left-hand path. You're coming into this and you're still sucking the same people's dick, when all they're teaching is their subjective experience and hoopla to wrap you or draw you in. Ain't a damn fairy gonna transform your ass. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ain't no damn fairy gonna transform your ass. It's you and your treachery, you and your demonic ways, you and your darkness. Confronting that shit is what's gonna transform you. The right-hand path focuses on the light. Everything is the light, the light, the light, light, peace, love, and light. Nah, sorry. This path, we ain't dealing with the light. We're dealing with straight darkness, because that's the part that is suppressed. That is the part that is shunned, and that's the part that we run from. This is why some people cannot look at themselves in the mirror. And some people are understanding why now through this shadow work class. Some of what they're starting to understand. What you've been running from is going to start being revealed. It's going to start showing up, because you're going to be like, damn, that's what I'm running from. Some people cannot look in the mirror for a long length of time, only if they're dolling themselves up, making themselves glamorous. That's the only time they can look in there. That's it. But if you have to look at yourself for a long time, sometimes it scares the living crap out of people, because they start seeing things. They start realizing, oh shit, I got some serious stuff popping up. I can't run no more. They start realizing, and that's not easy to do. On the left-hand path, our initiatory process is based upon an alchemical process. Some of y'all know this process because if you looked at the symbolism of Baphomet, you'll see it on there. Solve et coagula, or coagula. Dissolve and preserve. Dissolve and preserve. Now you're starting to understand that. What it means to dissolve and preserve. You dissolve the bullshit of yourself that no longer benefits you. You preserve the stuff that does. So on a chemical process, left-hand path alchemy at its finest. The left-hand path, we choose to walk the Klipothic tree of the night. The right-hand path usually just utilizes one side of the tree, which is the tree of day or the tree of life. Here's the difference, peoples. The left-hand path, in what we do, what it means to walk the left-hand path is we don't just focus on one side of the Kabbalah. We work both sides of Kabbalah. The Klipothic tree of night. We work with both aspects, both trees. We don't shun one for the other, but our emphasis and our main focus begins with the tree of the night. And they understand on the left-hand path, when you reach Kether or Kether, the Kether sphere, you simultaneously reach Tamuel or Thaumiel, which is the twin Cliffa. Cliffa is just the one sphere, okay? Not all of them, which represents the highest level of transmutation, the godhood. So thus, we're literally bringing harmony or integration in our life between the light and the dark. See, too many people run because they think, oh, everything you do is dark, dark, dark. Bullshit. Because when you walk the dark, you understand what the light truly is. Then you know how to integrate it. I don't be deceived by the false light and think everything is light. Bullshit. But if you ran too early and never found out or stayed long enough to find that out, that's you. That's your fears, your failures, and what you're scared of. All right? So really understand that part. What does it mean to walk the left-hand path? To become the sovereign ruler. To do that, you're gonna walk the clip-path. Now, it's funny because all of a sudden, people who never really talked about vampirism, clip-path, or anything like that, all of a sudden, they're all talking about this shit. It's funny stuff. Because I remember people were talking about this in 2012 all the way to today. But people ran from it then. But now all of a sudden you have more mainstream YouTubers talking about everybody wants to come running to find this out now. Anyways. So my suggestion for some of y'all is to start. One place to start is do some studies on Carl Jung. And what he really meant by the dark side or the shadow side, that is a beginning step or process to understand the left-hand path even more. Okay, start studying some of what he was discussing and trying to really reveal about that. It will help you understand greater what the process and what you're doing. As we discussed for some the other night, another part is antinomianism. It's understanding and working that work of, damn, I'm programmed. Damn, I do things that are deeply embedded in me from programming, from my family, from religion, from traditions or whatever the case may be. And you start the process of understanding, I gotta break all this so-called morality that I've been taught by society, religion, and other shit. I have to really start breaking that. Because some of that sounds nice, but when you really take an in-depth walk into morality as the way it's been taught to us, you understand that it's nothing more than a system of slavery. How to keep the servants and the slaves controlled. How to keep the sheep herded together and the cattle led to slaughter. How to keep them under this cattle herd mentality. You will begin to awaken this primordial chaotic part of you where you realize, yo, I'm brainwashed like an MFer. You'll start to really get an eye awakening on the things that we do that really you're not doing out of your own free will and accord. You're doing it because it's programmed into you, and you're doing it as a brainwashed individual. And don't think, this goes out for the conscious community, don't think just because you're conscious or in the conscious community that you're not programmed. Oh, sorry, people, that you're not brainwashed. Sorry. Yes, you are. Because you left one programming or brainwashing to create a new one that has many of our people screwed up just as bad as they were before. Go chew on that one for a while, peoples. Just because you left that religion, society's programming, that does not mean you're not under a new programming. Yes, you are. Because when you speak to most people in the conscious community, most of these comedic fools and things like that, they all have the same damn response. Y'all can testify. Anybody in this room, I'm sure you can raise your hand and say, yep. You will have a discussion with them, and they all have the same pre-programmed response. That's programming and brainwashing 2019, new style, new way, new fashion, same old shit. You gotta understand, the more your life is shaped by the collective norm, the more you are nothing more than a sheep or cattle. When you reject morality has been taught, the social standards has been taught, and religious values, then begins the process of your true awakening. Not easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because one of the things that happens is the conscious mind has a problem of letting go. It likes what it likes. It's so conditioned to like some of these things that it will wrestle you back and say, heifer, I ain't letting that shit go. I likes. Yeah. It will justify still remaining program or brainwash. It will fight you to the very last bitter end. I know this because I went through it myself, and others in this room are still going through it as we speak. That conscious mind is a mother effer. It doesn't want to let go. It will fight you and wrestle you to the bitter end. So you got to have tremendous willpower to overcome how you've been programmed. I'm going to give you a simple ritual that I've given to other people before, just to show you how hard it is to bring your conscious mind under control. Go get an object, a statue, a stone, and whatever. And try to stare. Use your timer, because most of us have timers on these smartphones, okay? Hold on. You have a timer on here. So use your smartphone and look or stare at that object for 2 minutes without being distracted. I guarantee you most of you will fail. As a matter of fact, bet me. Who wants to bet me $10 right now that you won't last 2 minutes without being distracted? $10 right now. I was gonna say yard, but I ain't that stupid. There will be some people who will do 2 minutes or more. So I ain't gonna, nope. But I know a lot of y'all can't do it, because I had difficulty, and a lot of these people in this room who have worked with me for years now have had difficulty doing it. But if you're new and you want to take that challenge, talk to me. Email me. I'll send you the work and how to do it. Let's have fun. I like having fun. Talk to me. I ain't got no problem with that. I love the challenge. 2 minutes. But here it is. I'm going to make it. I'm going to show you. Don't think it's that easy. Because if you do take up the challenge, you're going to see that you got to have music playing in the background or the TV on or something else to see how much you really can concentrate. Yeah. Yeah, you thought it was that easy? Oh, yeah, I'm going to just sit here and just look at this. No, sorry, not that easy. We're going to make it difficult to see how much you control your conscious mind, or the conscious mind controls you. Because that's the war. See, the left-hand path is trying to bypass the distracted mind, the conscious mind, who tries to rule everything to get to the subjective, or to get to the subconscious and the unconscious part of yourself and make it conscious. So you're trying to do a flip-flop. That's what it means to walk the left-hand path. Challenge yourself. Another thing, what it means to walk the left-hand path is challenge yourself. Every day, not once a week, not once a month, every day. If you are a chain smoker, challenge yourself to reduce it by 1 cigarette a day. Period. Challenge yourself. If you love watching porn, don't be embarrassed if you do. Fuck that religious shit, okay? If you like watching porn, goddamn it, own up to that shit and reduce it by 1 hour a day. If you're a sports junkie like myself, god damn it, reduce watching sports a little bit at, one time a day. Shit like that. Challenge yourself. That's what this path is all about. Challenging yourself. Not making excuses. You challenge yourself. For the work I do and the tempo I work with, I got an 11-week process. I'm about to get nitty gritty and deep down in it. Okay? 11 weeks, my niggas. 11. This ain't no chump stuff. This is 11 weeks. I can't let myself get distracted. I got to do this. Nah. It's a challenge and a half. Do it. Push yourself. That's when you will know what it is. You will see where your strengths and weaknesses lay at. And when you find out what your weaknesses are, what is the principle we do on the left-hand path? If that weakness cannot be transmuted to something that will make you more powerful, destroy it. But if you're able to take your weaknesses and transmute it into something that may become or help you become more powerful, do it. But those weaknesses, you gotta start confronting them. You gotta start confronting them. You can't keep letting your weaknesses rule your life. I'm gonna give you an example of a weakness that many people are not aware of. Did you know that a lot of people are slaves to their emotions? They don't rule their emotions. They're slaves to their emotions. Yeah, it's true. Look around and you will see how people allow their emotions to rule them and overpower them. If that's your case, challenge yourself to flip the script. You're supposed to be in control of your emotions. That doesn't mean you don't have emotions. That means you control them. Meaning, you don't let yourself constantly get triggered by the same thing over and over, and 30 years later, you're still triggered by the same damn thing. When do you confront that shit? When do you master that part of yourself? Because if you still triggered today about the same thing you were 10 years ago, that's a weakness. Challenge yourself to rule and master your emotions and not be a slave to them. Some people may ask, well, what does it mean? What do you mean a slave to my emotions? If you fall in love easily, nigga, you a slave to your emotions. If after 3 days you loving someone, it's a problem there. It's a real problem. And don't tell me that's not me, because some of y'all in this room and listening on YouTube fell in love in 3 days or 3 months or less. I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Let's give a rude awakening. What happened was you were in lust. Okay, you were lusting after this person. And then they sexed you up so good that you was like, yo, son, I'm in love with this female or this dude, whatever. I think I love him. You ain't love him, you love the dick or the pussy. That's what really is the real reality. That shit was so amazing. You were like so shocked, like, yo, woo, what happened to me? I'm feeling. And then as time goes on, you can't stand this person. You like, this is a straight asshole right here. They get on my nerves. I want to smack the living crap out of this dude. I can't be around this person because the lust got confused for love. Your emotions overpowered you. Check yourself and start confronting that part. And please, people, do not take shit personally, because I personally don't know a lot of y'all, so I'm not pointing the finger at you, okay? So if it makes you feel a certain kind of way, I'm happy. You know why? Because that means there's some part of you that's resonating with that, and now you understand, yeah, you know, I might have to check this within myself and work on that. We open the door to be shafted up the butt without grease, and don't even realize it a lot of times, because our emotions rule us. Me? Let me give you an example of me. And there's only me, so I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Me and how I run my life. Dude, before I really fall in love with you, I got to know you. I'm telling you, listen, the woman I've known in my life, okay? The ones I did fall in love with, I'd had to know them a year and a half, 2 years or more before I even had feelings, like deep, profound feelings that I could call love. I care for you, but love? Nah, sorry. I gotta know you. We gotta go through trials and tribulations to know if I really love you. If we can make it through those trials and tribulations, then yo, that's real love. But I can care for you deeply, but love? Nah, sorry. I done seen too many things and been fooled by too many people in the past to really say I'm gonna love you that quick. But that's an addiction, because some people have an addiction to love. Just like some people have an addiction to pain. Some of y'all listening have an addiction to pain. This is why some of y'all want to try BDSM and stuff like that. I ain't knocking it. If you like it, get into it. And through it, you'll understand where your addiction for pain comes from. But nevertheless, it's still an addiction. And addictions, you should master and have control over them. The right-hand path don't help you with those addictions a lot. You know how I know? Because people go right back to the very addictions that they left. They tell you to believe in a higher power, pray to Jesus, God, or something. That'll help you through. Sorry, not happening. And then what's up with these athletes? Every athlete, for those who watch sports, whether it's NBA, baseball, football, hockey, whatever, soccer, whatever. Why are they always pointing to the sky? Like, this dude just hit a 3-point shot. Who the hell's up there, yo? They all... Really? Really, people? You got to point to the sky. So if any athletes, and I know some athletes who watch these videos, by the way, please, if your teammates are one of those people, please wake them up. There ain't no one up there, okay? And second of all, it ain't them who hit a home run. It ain't God who hit a home run. It ain't Jesus who hit a home run. It ain't God or Allah, Yahweh who scored the goal in soccer or football or caught the touchdown pass or none of that. Your ass did that. Your God's self caught the goddamn pass in the end zone. Ain't nobody outside of you did that. So why the hell you constantly worshiping someone outside or giving props to someone outside? You see how we lessen ourselves, we lessen our powers. We always got to give props to something outside of ourselves. I, for once, want to see one athlete, when they interview him after, say, yo, I'm the shit, son. I caught the pass. I'm God. No, they won't let that happen. They'll cut that shit off right there. Be like, nope, sorry. Delete that interview. But people do that. They constantly give their power to something else. So here's a ritual for y'all to do. You want to start getting your power back and stop giving your power to other people? Look in the mirror every day and say, I take my power back from everybody I ever gave my power to. I no longer will feed my energy to people who don't deserve it. And anyone who tries to control me, I will destroy him on the spot. Now, you make it up how you want to say. This just came to me off the dome. However you want to say that, do that every day for 7 straight days. And start noticing a change in your life. Start noticing how you start changing the way you think. You really want to make a profound effect, do it for 25 days or more. According to some psychologists, you want to create a new habit. Sometimes it takes 25 days or more to create a new habit. So if you want to do a new habit of empowering yourself and taking your power back from other people, 25 straight days, say it. However you want to say it. I just gave you an example. However you want to say it. Do this every day looking in the mirror. Okay? I take my power back from all those I've ever given my power to. I am no longer feeding my energy to those who are only going to suck me dry and drain me. Whatever. However you feel, you do it. That's what it means to walk the left-hand path, becoming that God over self, taking power back for yourself, being the ruler over yourself. Stop feeding these other people. Stop worshiping other people. Stop praising everything outside of yourself. And realize you're the one doing it, people. You're the one doing it. For those walking this path and those who have taken these classes, you're doing it. Every time you get to another level, you're the one doing it. Even though you might have gotten that from myself, Brother Beniti, or other people, you still the one doing it. So you the God. Thank yourself. When you're done with the ritual, look at yourself and say, thank you, whatever your name is. Say, like for me, I would say, thank you, Ravana. I did the shit. Now people be like, oh, you tripping. That's narcissistic or egotistical. Fuck you. What you want me to keep worshiping something outside of myself that doesn't give 2 shits about me? Cut the shit. Who else am I going to thank? I did the work, so why can't I thank myself? You see the programming? That's what people do. They make you feel guilty because you said, thank myself. Yes, you should thank yourself. If you in the gym and you lost 100 pounds, who the hell else you going to thank? I didn't see God lifting them weights. I didn't see Jesus lifting them weights. If he did, please tell me, because I'll be there, because I got to have a conversation with that nigga. Anyways, that's another story. All right. Let's take some questions now that I have rambled for a little while. All right, let's go to KG. I ain't seen KG in a minute. KG, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
How are you, KG?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I don't have any questions. I was just really inspired by what you've been saying. Yeah, I've been absent. I've been doing my shadow work and working through it. So.
All right. Now
Yeah.
stay tuned, KG, because you know by the beginning of the new year or a little after, we're gonna start the necromancy classes. So
That's what's up.
I know you've been waiting. So just
Yes.
stay tuned. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Mel, you're next. What's good, Mel?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I have a question.
Yes.
All right. What's the name of that Doc Tantra that you mentioned? You said there's a type of Tantra that's the left-hand path.
Vama.
What's the name?
Is Vama, V-A-M-A, Marga, M-A-R-G-A.
Okay.
All right. It's hard to find a lot of information, but if you want information, the best book on that, I have a PDF file I can send you. It's called Demons of the Flesh.
Demons of the Flesh?
Yes, yes, Demons of the Flesh. If you want it, email me afterwards and I'll send it out to you, all right?
All right, thanks.
All right, brother. All right, King Shad, you next. Any questions?
No questions. I'm just taking it all in. It's like you've been talking to me the whole time, man.
Cool.
It's like I've been going back and forth, listening to you for a couple years, you know what I mean? Even when you was with Brother Beniti doing Awakening University, you know what I mean? Y'all used to bug me out, talking y'all shit back and forth. Oh, this, that, the third, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm thinking I'm getting it, but not really getting it, So then I had to take the time off, come back, and now it just clicked. I'm like, oh shit, I got it now. You know what I mean? So I got the intellect. You know what I mean? So now it's just I gotta do the work. You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. And that's how it happens. Sometimes you might not have been open enough earlier, but then as it starts to marinate in your mind,
Yeah.
Click, and then you'll be like, word, I'm getting it now. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, shit clicking. I'm seeing stuff. You know, I'm not reacting. You know what I mean? So a lot of things like you see the shit on the news. You know what I mean? With Trump and all that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like your thoughts is here, and then something else is going on over there, and you know, it's like I'm not reacting. I'm just like, something's going on. You know what I mean? There's more to the story. And then you get the rest of the story, and you're like, oh, see, that's why I didn't jump. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, oh yeah, you were right. You know what I mean? I just see so much more. And even the thing about, you know, being in the light all your life and trying to be what everybody wants you to be and all that, and that caused like a lot of repression, you know, repressed stuff in me. You know what I mean? It's always like I've always been battling it. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, you know, fuck that. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna deal with the shadow work and everything and my shadow self. So it's just like, I don't know, like I'm ready to get to it. You know what I mean? And just let it out and just live and just be. You know what I mean? And just go forward with life. You know? So yeah, it's like you've been sitting here talking to me the whole time, like everything I've been thinking about these past couple of days. And as I'm just sitting here and you're saying stuff, I'm like nodding my head, you know, and you pause and I'd be like, yeah, you be like, yep, and you start talking again. I'm like, this dude, you know what I mean?
Well, check this, bro. Check this. As you continue walking this, always trust your spirit. And what do I mean by that? Your spirit may tell you to do some crazy ish. I'm being straight up. Your spirit may tell you to do some crazy ish. Trust it. Because our conscious mind wants to wrestle and say, no, hell no, don't do that.
Right.
Spirit trying to get you to do something that you need to do that you may have been putting off. So always trust your spirit. And the way you check that, okay, is when you're in the dark, there's a way to check where the answer is really coming from, your conscious mind or your true self. All right?
Yeah.
You're in the dark, be in total darkness. Ask the question. When you ask the question, right? The first time, just sit there and ask the question, should I do this?
Right.
And the second time, put your hands over your heart chakra and ask the question again. If you feel the surge of energy from your heart chakra when you ask the question, trust, that's the shit you should be doing. No matter how cuckoo crazy it sounds to other people, that's the issue you need to be doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, because I've been going back and forth about, you know, like I said, I got the, you know, like the intellect part, but like trying to find like a path to follow. Like I've been thinking, okay, I'm gonna follow like the Egyptian, or I'm gonna do the Buddhan, or the, you know, the Luciferian or whatever. So I've been going back and forth, and then one day I was meditating, and like I had this green light come on, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I don't know, it's like for some reason the Luciferian just popped up out of nowhere the next couple of days, you know what I mean? I kept seeing this green light, and I'm thinking, what the heck? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go with this. So I'm trying to, you know, figure it out, because I'm not, you know, well versed in none of it really, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. Let me share it. That's how it happens. It just happens out the blue like that, right? You'll get the response, and then listen to that, because what that's really telling you is, okay, this is what you should be doing. Now, here's the key though. The key is that in the left-hand path, you could do all that shit. You could work with all that stuff. There's a comedic aspect of the left-hand path. There's a Luciferian aspect. There's all these aspects are within the left-hand path. You don't have to nitpick, okay, and say, okay, I can only do this. What I said earlier though is this, so people don't misunderstand it. If you're gonna choose, let's say Luciferian, walk that and really concentrate on that for at least 6 months or more to really get results and benefits from it. Don't get like what we tend to do is a lot of people is we jump from this to this to this, and then we're scattered. You gotta discipline yourself to be like on one thing to get enough from it. That doesn't mean that you can't go back to the other stuff you want to work on or work with. It just means stay disciplined enough to work and walk on that. And then when you have done that, then you could go work on the other stuff that you've been wanting to. But make sure you stay disciplined enough to stay on that at one current. Because because if you don't, what tends to happen is we veer everywhere.
Right.
And then we don't get enough, and then we say, oh, this ain't working. Of course it ain't working. What you think? You could just do a Kali ritual one day, and now you're just so deep and profound and got results? Hell no. That's not how it works. First of all, destruction is a process. Okay? When everything in life is centered on build and destroy. This 5%ers even taught this, right? In order to build a house, what must you do? You first destroy the ground to build a foundation. And that doesn't happen overnight. As a matter of fact, sometimes building the foundation takes longer than erecting the structure itself.
Right, right.
So that's the point. The point is, in order to really get there somewhere, you're going to have to destroy all aspects of yourself, but build a new foundation. And to do that, it takes time. Because if that foundation is weak, y'all seen that video of when they were building that in New Orleans, that building in New Orleans, and the building, the structure came tumbling down?
Yeah.
See, a lot of that has to do because their foundation was weak.
Yeah.
If the foundation is weak, I don't care what edifice you erect, it's going to eventually tumble, crumble, or something like that.
Right.
So always remember, my foundation must be solid before I start putting the building blocks to go to other levels or other currents or things of that nature.
Right.
All right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna work this for a while and get it together. Yep.
All right, brother.
All right. Thanks.
Yep. Appreciate it. All right, Dawn Frame, you next.
Hi. I don't have any questions. I'm listening. It's really starting to click because every avenue that I've been through led me here. It's like from being a Hebrew Israelite, well, actually a Christian, to Hebrew Israelite, to mantras and all that. It led me here.
Yep.
So now it's a new avenue that I must go on to find myself, and it sounds like I will on this path.
Indeed.
And I thank you for having patience with all of us. Thank you.
But I want to remember, thank yourself for even taking a step, okay? Because that's more important.
Yes.
Without you taking that step, none of this is real. You know what I mean? So.
And you tell the truth.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Obsidian Goddess, I ain't seen you in a long time. How you been?
Really good. I get really busy over the summer because I do organic gardening and I grow medicinal cannabis as well. So I'm finally getting a break from all the growing that I do. So it's like really good to be here at this meeting.
Good.
I don't really have any questions. I was really glad to see the email, and the topic was about what it is to actually to follow the left-hand path.
Right.
I have a 10-year-old son, and just maybe a day before that email, he was asking me what that was and what it was about, and so I was explaining it to him. Because I don't believe in forcing anything on him, but to let him explore different things on his own and make his own decisions, because, he should take responsibility for his decisions and also be a free thinker. He has a mind of his own, think for himself, so these are all things I try to instill in him.
Indeed.
This as a parent, and he's actually here right now. Listening and really taking an interest, so excited and proud. So
that's good though. That's good.
It's just good to be here tonight.
Yes, it's good to see you too. All right, thank you, Obsidian. All right, JR the Sith Star. What's up, bro?
What up, bro?
How you been?
Cooling, man, cooling. I'm just listening, taking everything in. You talking to me as well too, real talk.
All right, sounds good, bro.
Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Thank you. Necro, I'm going to bypass you because I know your voice is hurting. I know you ain't feeling well, so I'm going to bypass you. But if you want to comment, just raise your hand later, right? All right, Demetrius, what's up, bro?
Hey, greetings. I'm glad I made it in.
Yes.
Been a busy couple of days, but yeah, this is cool. I especially like you talking about getting control over the emotions. That's important because you can be controlled by them, by others.
Yes.
That is how you get manipulated. Christians are masters of this. If you ever get the chance, get yourself grounded and whatnot, and go visit a church, you know, and just observe how they use that. It's emotion, the music, and then they start talking, especially during Easter. You know, they talk about this dude getting his ass split and all this other shit going on, and you start crying and falling out, and you know, it's kind of neat to watch. It's
Yes, it is.
I mean, this is like Sith force manipulation all the way around. But anger is another one that's real powerful, that people get manipulated by. I used to have a really big issue with anger, and you know, people would use that to their advantage against you, and it's awful. So it just is something that, for you to get under control and to use it to your advantage. And that 3 days falling in love stuff, oh wow, really?
Yeah. It's the 2019. A lot of people are doing that nowadays. It's crazy, but it's true.
Cut that shit out. You're losing too much. You're doing all of that stuff. You're losing too much. You find out he or she is crazy, and that's ridiculous. Don't be going up in everything either.
Yeah.
So
be selective what you go up in.
Oh yeah, vampirism is real. It's not only just in the occult. People do this unconsciously.
Yep.
And some of the men can attest, and some of the women too. You know, you go knocking around with something, and now you can't get yourself dressed for work.
Yeah. Wake up the next day devastated, destroyed.
Yes.
And what the hell happened to you?
Hollowed out.
Yes. Not a good thing.
Yes.
All right, Dimitri. Appreciate it.
All right.
Mika, how you doing?
Good, good. I don't think I have any questions. I have a comment though.
Yes.
You were talking about, I guess, more with the shadow work.
Yes.
As far as letting people control you, or like the other guy was saying, like controlling your emotions or your emotions controlling you.
Yes.
Which was like one of the issues I was having, because I would let, others, kind of like piss me off or control how my day went or how I was going to feel, which I'm still dealing with that. But, since I started, actually picking up, trying to learn some things from this, and I had somebody that really pissed me off, but I reversed it and I told her, I said, you know what? I said, you just actually helped me out because you just showed me about something about myself that I need to work on. So you just did me a service, and I took it as that, and, I just went with it. So I'm just basically ready to know and to find out who I am and to embrace my demonic self.
All right. Well,
I'm ready for that.
I know you are. You know what's tripping me out? This is on a side note, but because all I see is the reflection of red off your glasses. I keep thinking of the Jawas in Star Wars, because that's exactly how their eyes look, especially in Mandalorian. I'd be like, whoa, this is tripping me out. Anyway, that's another story. But listen, you're already on the path. You chose yourself to say, okay, I'm going to find out about my demonic self, my true self. That's the first step. You already did that. So thank yourself for taking the first step. Now, anything else you do after that, you determine and you choose what you want to really involve yourself in so that you can start getting the results you need. All right? So always thank yourself. That's first and foremost. And then, you know what I mean? Just let me know. Anything you need, just let me know. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Cyber Soul, you're next. Cyber Soul, you're next. I think your phone or your computer might be muted. Check it out. It might be muted. There you go.
All right. Is it fine now?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, finally made it to one.
Yes.
Really quick, I just want to say that I found your show and Beniti's channel on a whim. I typed up Sith or Dark Side Occult just because I was realizing the symbolism.
Right.
And I found your channel, and then it was on a video game channel, and he found this Papa Bones shit.
Yeah.
And I just typed in Papa Bones, and Beniti's came up. Yeah. I was like, wow, this is a pretty similar format as Ravana's. And then I just see a video with you with him. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, we, me and Beniti, quick story for those who are not, really don't know. Me and Beniti known each other way back since the 90s. So, like, we've known each other for years. But, through life, we get busy sometimes, so we're not always able to come together. But when we do events, we do rituals, group rituals, things like that. We try to do classes at once a month, but this month we're going to probably miss it because the holidays are at the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? So, we're all going to be busy with our family. But yeah, we've known each other for years. So that's why the format is similar, because a lot of the paths that have been walked, we walked together. And we kind of gravitated towards the left-hand path, like around the same time. We hadn't actually communicated for a little bit. And then when we did, we got communicating again. We just happened to both be walking the left-hand path. Now, the funny thing about that is we're both Geminis. We're both born in June. He's born a few days after me. Okay, we're both born in the same year. So go figure. Anyways, this is just a quick story. All right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I have any questions, but the one thing on the conscious, quote unquote, community, I had somebody, not gonna name who, but who was saying, how they're a pagan and they left religion and fucking hated it or whatever. Even when I was getting into, because I was born a Catholic and then I started going to Islam later on. And then, but before that, I was saying I was a pagan. And then she was being like, criticizing religion. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, that's fine. And then later on, once I got out of it, we were talking and I was bringing up the left-hand path and demonic energies and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, well, I'm not fucking with any of that. And I was like, why? And she was like, oh, well, the stuff my father went through when he was a devil worshiper or whatever. And I'm like, you're coming from the same ideological lane,
yep,
theology of religion. And she was like, oh, I'm not feeling it. And I was like, it's not the same thing. And I was like, you can't approach it from that religious view. But the other thing is, when I really like how you and Beniti say that even once you're aware of where your soul could go and the enlightenment shit, you could still end up going back to religion. It's not that easy. It's all that subconscious stuff. It really is sinister in a bad way.
Yep.
That it just keeps on pulling you back. You're like, oh, well, I can't fix this on my own. And you're not having that confidence and stuff. And what was I gonna say? It's just I can't believe that the ignorance that you can have in yourself when you're really making it through. And I mean, I've brought it up to people. I was like, it's not that easy. I mean, I've made a lot of progress, but even still, it's not like you have to be hyper aware. But once you like something with guilt and stuff, it's not like you have to be unbiased or biased, but you're like, this is what I have to go through in order to get there. It doesn't mean you're going back to the light side or religion. Right. It's just that process.
And yeah, exactly. Look, somebody was to ask me today, this path that I walk, what are you willing to do? if I had to go back into the church to get what I need, I would do it. But there's a difference. I'm not going to go into there and become a holy roly worshiper. I'm just extracting what I need and keeping my ass moving. That's the main thing, is that wherever your spirit guides you, do it, no matter how strange it seems. But always remember, you're the one in control. You're the God over yourself. And as long as you remember that, you're good at wherever you go. But you're right. There is loopholes to this because we easily can gravitate back to things because we lack willpower or we lack that confidence in ourselves. And we're so programmed that if that willpower and confidence is low, we're going to quickly feel like, oh, I need someone else's help to do this. I can't do this by myself. And that's one of the things that seems to grab and hold humans on a level that is hard for them to shake, is when they get to the hardest part of their life, they always want to reach out to someone. They always want to, please help me, because we've been trained that you can't do it yourself. You need somebody outside of you to do it. And that is the craziest thing when you really think about it, because that's what holds people back is, yes, on this path, you're going to come to a point where you're going to feel like, damn, this is getting so hard. What do I do? My life has been turned upside down. Chaos. My relationship is destroyed. All this stuff happened. You're going to want to feel like I need someone's help. I need God. That happens. But you have to stay strong-willed to overcome that moment of weakness or frailty and realize this is all a part of the process. So I thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, really quick. No, it's also once you have that calling to it too, because some people, they'll just go into that side of occultism or left-hand path because they think it's edgier. There's a bunch of people that are going to the Wicca side now just because it's the Sabrina show, American Horror Story.
Yeah, it's the thing to do now. Yeah.
And I remember when I did my self-initiation, and I said, I'm like, I'm going to go through a lot of fucked up stuff. I have to be willing. But even still, it was just because that calling was so vivid and pronounced in myself that I was like, this is my path. But I still went back to the religion stuff plenty of times. There's nothing wrong with, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with religion, right. But there's nothing wrong with going through that battle and stuff on the process. So, I mean, you really got to know that whether it's left-hand path or not, your path is your path, and you got to not let anything dictate whatever. So thank you.
And that's
I will definitely be back on.
Yep. Thank you, Cyber Soul. And that's the key, because I appreciate that. But that's the key. Let me say why. Because you got to understand something. This is your path. And left-hand path is not for everybody. Period. It's not for everybody. And it's okay. If you realize, you know what, this may not be for me, so be it. But when you have a conviction and you start to really feel this is my path, you'll know. You're not doing it because it's a fad or everybody's doing it or American Horror Story is showing it or Sabrina or The Magicians or all these TV shows. You're doing it because it's genuinely a passion of yours. You feel a passion towards it and it just fires you up. But thank you, bro. All right, let me go on to Lady Mystic. Tanisha, how are you? Hold on, let's unmute. You're still, okay, there you go. How are you?
Greetings, I'm good. Thank you so much. Glad to see everyone. Glad to see you. You know, I'm really enjoying the show. You know, there's some struggles that I'm having, and if I were to answer this question on how to overcome the struggles, I just have to continue to do what I'm doing, continue to do my shadow work, continue to do my rituals, and I'm going to get there. Yep. You know, some of this isn't going to happen overnight. It might take 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years, but I just have to continue to do that work. And eventually I'm going to get there. You know, that's answering my own question, correct?
Yep. That's correct. You just answered your own. All right. Thank you. All right, let's go to Brother Mario. Mr. Mario, I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. How are you?
What's up, man? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I definitely been dealing with some shadow work. Been working 3 jobs to get this business stuff off the ground, but I actually went to church today, and man, what I did, they have on the screen like the words to the song, where every time it said Jesus or God, I put my name in it. I was singing along to loud. And I know I can't sing, but I was loud.
Yeah.
And I was putting my name in it. I wasn't putting no Jesus, no God, none of that stuff.
That's right, brother. Take the praise and direct it to yourself.
Yes, sir. And I do apologize because my phone, I'm glad you said that about the iPhone. The iPhone is a right-hand pad. I had to go back to the left-hand pad, the Android.
There you go, brother. Get that left-hand pad phone, brother.
New phone with a new number. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely hit you up during the week. But bro, I'm definitely enjoying this show. And I don't know if it's too late for me to join the class because my work schedule kind of.
Well, I'm happy you said that. I actually I got hit up by a few people, and because right now the way the class is, there's a 2-week period in there where people got to concentrate. By the next by 2 days from now, the 4 people who hit me up, and if you want to Mario, sign up. I could take 4 more people. Okay, you're one of those 4. So if you want to do it, sign up now because there's still a moment to get into. So those who want to get to the shadow work class, the Black Serpent Clan, and I'll send you the information. There's room for 4 more people. All right. So don't, you can still get in, brother.
All right, most definitely.
All right, nice seeing you, brother, and definitely text me during the week.
All right, I definitely will, bro.
All right.
All right.
Blair, you are next, Blair.
Hey, loves.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? I came in late, but I wanted to know, what were you saying about the focusing on an object for 2 minutes? What was you saying about that?
Go get Pillsbury Doughboy and tickle his ass for 2 minutes, and you'll be okay. No, let me stop. Anyways,
shit.
No, seriously, what I was saying is this.
Yo, that'll make a nigga fall in love.
Yeah.
Keep trying to have that.
Poking his tummy too. But anyways, this is what you got to do. Get an object, whatever, a crystal, a statue, figurine, whatever. Have music playing, everything. And see if you could stare at it for 2 minutes straight without being distracted. Use your timer on your smartphone.
Okay.
And see if you could stare at it for 2 minutes straight without being distracted. And I put a bet out to everybody that I'll give you $10 if you could do it past 2 minutes.
With
first time.
With music?
Everything has to be on TV, music, whatever you normally have going on in the house. You got to do it with all that going on and see if you can look at that object for 2 minutes.
Oh, hell, that's hard.
Okay. Yeah, at least you know.
So, and then I had another question because I came in when you guys were talking about being in control of your emotions. What's a good reference on that, or is that like how do you kind of gain control over something that you know that you are weak at?
Okay.
So I get mad.
Give me an emotion. Give me an example of an emotion that we could go into.
I get pissed off at people. I told you I be
Good.
wanting to segment. Come on, I want to just chop people up. So let's talk about anger right now. Like,
okay, all right, good. Let's do that. All right, here's the key when it comes to controlling that anger. Okay. First of all, the first thing you got to realize is what triggers you to become angry. First question you got to ask for everything is what triggers you to become angry. Now,
it could just be stupid people. Let's just talk about like the anger from stupid people.
Understood. But your definition of a stupid person could be different than another person's definition. So To you. You don't got to say this out loud, but to you, whatever definition is of a stupid person, ask yourself, why is it stupid?
Because they don't have common sense.
Okay.
I mean,
hold on. Stop.
Okay.
What could be common sense to you may not be to another person. Well, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If, let's say, someone, like I noticed this the other day, right? I'm at the barbershop getting lined up, you know what I'm saying, getting my shit done up. And I'm looking at where my barber has all his stuff. And I'm like, yo, that shit's about to fall. Right? But I said, I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm gonna just watch his dumb ass leave that shit right there. And it's almost half off the table already. It fell. He gets angry. And I'm like, why the hell are you getting angry? It's your dumb ass who put that shit there in the first place. Do you understand? Common sense would say, hello, bro, put that thing over the table. I mean, you know, like fully square on the table away from the edge. But guess what? His common sense was just to put it there and it'll be fine. See, it's different to everybody. Now, hold on, but if you get triggered by that, see, here's the situation when it comes to that. Let me explain. And I've said this to you before, and I've said this to people in class before. You're getting triggered by someone's behavior. That's not your own behavior. That's someone else's behavior. If you get triggered by someone's behavior, that means they are affecting you. They're actually ruling, and this is what Demetria said earlier, they're actually ruling and controlling your emotions more than you realize. So if I continue talking ish to you, let's say, right, and I know the things that trigger you and I keep saying it, and you let yourself get triggered, whose fault really is that? No,
I understand that. I need to control that aspect. I'm not talking about like stuff like, okay, you picking at me and you gonna just like.
No, but listen, you're gonna understand it because I'm gonna tie it back in, right? So you got triggered by that, okay? Mm-hmm. So someone else's behavior is still triggering you, whether it's them jigging at you or not. Because someone's dumb ass parks stupidly in the driveway, in a parking lot. Some people go in a rage and start wailing off on that car. Yes, it's a dumbass dude or female, whoever, who parked the car there, and right away in our minds, here's the BS that we got to address in ourselves. Right away, when someone parks crazy like that, our bias comes out, and we'll be like, oh, it's got to be a girl. This is what people say, or some people be like, oh, it's got to be some Chinese person, or some shit like that. Like, really, this is all stuff that's external, but we do this constantly without realizing it, right? You see a car full of people, right? And you're like, damn, it irritates me because what? How you gonna pack 10 people in a car? You understand?
Yeah.
We don't understand their situation. So first of all, why is that upsetting us? Because they might have a situation where they need to pack 10 people in the car. Gotta understand, a lot of the reasons why we get angry is triggered by outside stimulus, not us. And we respond to it with our emotions. So that means the things outside of us are really what's controlling our emotions. How do you gain control over that? Stop letting shit outside of yourself affect you.
Like, okay, I get that aspect of it, but let's talk about, you had mentioned like maybe people are addicted to certain emotions, like falling in love or pain or something. And so maybe a lot of times people want to get into certain activities because they like pain, but what if they want to get into those activities for other reasons?
Fine, but are you going to deal with the consequences that come from it?
But what if you're not the one getting it? What if you're the one giving it? Does that mean that like I'm addicted to inflicting pain?
Yes.
If I want to give pain to people?
Yes, you might be. Listen, just because you're giving or taking, you still could be in the addictive process. Every part of addiction doesn't mean you're taking something. It can mean you like dishing out pain.
Because I do. I
do. You like dishing out pain, or you like dishing out, irritating people. Hey, that's some people. That's just reality. You got to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
See, that's what this path is about. You got to be 100% real to yourself and say, yo, I have an addiction to inflicting pain on people.
Like I think
here's
that,
the thing though, Blair. Here's the thing.
yeah.
If you inflict pain on, if let's say you really genuinely like inflicting pain on people, you got to deal with those consequences. You know what that means?
What?
The consequence is this: how they react to you. You can't get mad if they react a certain way to you if you're the one that inflicted it.
And I get that. But I think I like making people feel stupid and feel small.
Okay.
And so
that's another thing. That's another issue. Whenever we feel we have to make people feel small or something like that, it could be that somewhere in your childhood you were made to feel like that. So it became an issue that you now are acting out on.
And that
I didn't
could
say it
be.
is. I say it could be.
No, you're right. It could be. But I noticed that like that's part of, like, we all know I like control, but that's, I've been like analyzing this since, I've been really digging deep. And I'm like, why am I liking all these sadistic things?
You just might be a sadistic motherfucker. I mean, shit. Man. Some people are sadistic. The reality is this. See, let me say, sometimes we bang our head up against the wall and can't find the answers because the answer might be simpler than you think. Sometimes your ass may be sadistic. Like, shit, damn it, it's that easy. Everybody's not fluffy and light and loving and all this shit that we've been taught to be. Some people genuinely are sadistic. Can you embrace that reality when you find it out? You understand? That's the key. What you're going to find out when you walk this path is there's going to be crazy shit like that coming up out of you, and you embrace that shit. Because
I mean, how do you embrace that from a healthy place though?
Well, what is healthy? And what definition are you using to determine what's healthy?
The whole fluffy, healthy. Let's
gotta
act
stop.
our things.
That's part of the programming. Stop looking at shit from fluffy.
I mean, I'm just being honest though.
Understood, but shit just is. Meaning, you may look at it fluffy, or you may look at it as evil or dark. That is basically a part of the programming because you allow these two definitions to determine for you what is this or what is that. On this path, there is no good or evil, right or wrong. There just is. The person who decides what it is how you perceive life. Period. So what could be one man's what? Trash could be another man's jewels. Okay?
Yeah.
Always remember that. So if that's a part of you and you feel that there's a sadistic part of you, you may need to go into BDSM and explore that part of you.
Yo, I'm telling you.
I'm just being real. I can't tell you.
Yo.
You're just using that shit on me. But anyways, I'm just telling you, all right, that this may be a part of you. You got to realize and then own that shit. Okay?
Yeah.
What did I warn you guys, especially the ones taking the shadow work class? I warned you guys that some of the craziest shit is going to keep popping up. Some of the most perverted shit is going to pop up. Some of the most sadistic shit is going to pop up. Don't run from that shit. You got to embrace it because, see, the running mechanism of trying to, like, wrestle our heads trying to understand that is still a part of that programming from the right-hand path. You are embracing that part to fully understand it. You totally embrace that to understand it. Why do we
okay, so give me an example. How do you embrace that?
I just told you.
I mean, I acknowledge it. Does that mean that I just go and do what I gotta do?
What are the steps that I keep sharing with people? I'm gonna break this down using this example. Steps 1, 2, and 3.
You have to understand it, recognize it.
Say it again.
Okay.
First is identify. Identify is, okay, I like inflicting pain. I'm just using that as an example. Second is confront. Confront is, where did it shit come from? Where did it start? You know what I'm saying? Now I see it, I understand it. Now I'm confronting the reality of that's there. Third step is devour, destroy. That's the action. The action is the part that most people don't take on their journey. The action is this. You just might have to invest
to.
in possibly
whips and
exploring
chains.
that you're a dominatrix.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But our minds wrestle. Remember I said our conscious minds wrestle with that because our conscious minds want to stay on this fluffy bullshit.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I might be a dominatrix and I might use whips and chains and leather and all that shit. So the hell what? Stop listening to the conscious mind. Listen to your true self. If that's what you need to explore, to elevate and transform yourself and empower yourself, you got to go knee deep in that shit.
Yeah.
But always remember the key principle. Indulge, but with restraint. Meaning be selective. You know what I'm saying? Calculate, do that shit the right way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
So always remember that. That's an example of what you, right? I used your example of what of a thing that came up out of you and how to use the 3-step process. Sometimes you got to investigate these things. I cannot stress enough taking action. Now,
Yeah.
I will say this. If it's illegal to do, you might want to, you know what I'm saying? Find another way to express that shit. So I'm
yeah,
saying,
no, you real talk, you did need to say that because I think it's a lot of people that need to hear that shit.
Yeah, some people may need to hear that shit and be like, yo.
I am not one of them, but it is a lot of people that need to hear that.
Yeah, so if it's illegal, you might have to find another way to express that shit. Understood, right? So
yeah.
That's how you work the 3-step process. Some shit you just going, like, look, this is what I've said before. Some people have a desire, and they find this out when they do their shadow work. They have a desire, right, for whatever. They might want to spank a goat. I don't know. The shit is just crazy what happens, okay? I done heard crazy shit now, I'm telling you. They might want to spank a goat. So you're over here trying to process, oh my God, should I spank the goat? Oh shit. And you see, you're driving yourself crazy because you're overthinking it. You're not actually taking action. Now, I'm not telling you go and find a goat everywhere and just start spanking the shit out of them. Okay?
Yeah.
You gotta,
yeah.
But what I'm saying is you gotta identify these things. Now you confront the shit. Okay, I gotta do something about it. Some people want a slice of pizza, but because they're so vegan and extreme, they will never taste a slice of pizza. Well, guess, goddamn it, if that pizza keeps coming up in your life, you might need to goddamn go taste that pizza. Deal with that consequence of a stomach ache later, goddamn it. Okay, go taste the damn pizza. That's taking action. Then you finally can say, you know what? I indulge, but with restraint. I understand where this shit came from. I'm gaining power over it. But if you sitting on the sidelines and just saying, okay, I identify, I confront it, but I'm not going to do nothing about it, you're still sitting on the sidelines because there's only 2 steps completed. So sometimes you really got to do that. And I'm going to keep stressing this. When y'all do this work, crazier stuff is going to keep popping up. I'm just saying, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
You gotta really embrace that to understand it. Okay? Because that is what may be missing for you to become more integrated and more of a complete person. Because you've been denying that part of yourself for so long that you're not understanding yourself completely. So you gotta do the 360 physical and 360 spiritual. Too many people get caught up on just doing 360 spiritual work and forget I gotta do the physical aspect to this.
Yeah.
You understand?
And I think that a lot of people actually forget about that part. They're like, oh, I did the work, but no, really you didn't. You just brought the shit up and then it just suppresses all over again.
Look, and check this out. That's correct. And my good friend here, KG, just said, I'm going to have to ask KG about some stuff, considering what she just typed in here. Anyways, KG said, there are informative melanated kink groups that provide comfortable atmosphere to explore being a femme or dom and impact play.
Yo, where is that at? Type that in the chat.
You got to Google it because you can just type, you literally just Google that. And you'll find some stuff like that. Like, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what you're going to find out there. But
Huh.
KG, trust me, KG, she's not a woman just talks. She takes action about a lot of things that she, so when she says that, I take that to heart because you're actually taking action to explore this very thing that came up out of you.
Yeah.
And once you go through it, then you really understand it inside and out. You understand? You'll understand it even more because sitting here in the silence, we're only going to go so far until you're inside and you got that leather on, girl. You know what I'm saying? You got that whip.
Them titties looking good.
Yeah,
that whip, like.
How you going to really know how much of you it really is? You feel me?
Yeah.
When you go in there and you got that Catwoman outfit on, then you'll be like, yo, this shit's badass. That is me. Or, yo, this really might, that's the only way you find out things. Okay?
I mean, I know, I know. I mean, saying without saying, I know that it is me. You know what I'm saying?
But find out even more. And then.
I am.
Then email me a story. No, anyway, that's another story. All right. Thank you, Blair. We'll talk.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Smooth T. Smooth T, what's up, brother? Oh, I think you're still muted, bro. Hold on. Okay, now you go. Go ahead, bro.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, good show, man. It's just real key to take your time with this stuff, man. Like, shit coming out of me that I'm moving too fast, man. I gotta slow it down, you know. I'm trying to do too much, so it's key for me to right now to just slow it down and focus on one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Also, with embracing it, like you said, you don't have to actually go out and embrace it. You can use your creative imagination and just indulge in it that way. You know what I'm saying? You might.
There's various ways. That's right, bro. There's various ways to do it.
But yeah, that's it.
Yep. But anyways, in Blair's case, her ass needed to do it. But anyways, that's another story. All right, Sharice, you're next. Hold on, let me unmute you. Hold on. Oops. Okay, how you doing, Sharice?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
So I have a question. You mentioned the necromancy class that is after the shadow class. Yeah. Is that like, is it going to be after, or is it going to kind of be running simultaneously?
No, it's going to be towards the tail end of the shadow work as we're starting to wrap it up. I'm gonna activate it because some of what we're going to do towards the end of shadow work is going to actually tie into necromancy. So.
Okay.
I
have a question, another question. You know, when you were talking to Blair about needing to explore, so you said identify, confront, devour, destroy. Okay, when you're trying to explore, and let's say that something that you need to explore might be illegal. Finding an alternative way to do that, that's what you're saying. Try to find an alternative way. Or could I just...
You take your chances, but I wouldn't suggest that. So no, I didn't say it. But let me say this, Sharice. Smooth T made a perfect example. If it is something like illegal like that, you're going to have to use your imagination a lot to really, like act upon it. Because one thing I don't recommend is doing illegal things to hem your ass up, because it's not a nice thing, okay? But certain things, you might just have to play it out in your mind, okay? So always keep that in mind. Now, there's a fine line between what's legal and illegal in this society. So you have to investigate the laws in your states, because some state laws are different in every state, okay? So do your homework and investigate what's legal or not illegal, okay? Because this doesn't mean across the United States it's going to be legal or illegal. It's different every state. So always check your state laws first before anything else. But if it's something that you imagine it, there's another way to do it without just imagination. You can reenact or enact the event you want in your personal space. You know what I'm saying? And utilize the tools you need to do it. But you could, do a whole ceremony about it if you have to. All right? Now she got me curious what the fuck is illegal. But anyway, that's another story. That's just me being nosy, goddammit. But anyways, but yeah, that's another way to do it, is just you could reenact it in your own temples, personal space, or whatever, and use the props or tools that you need to reenact it. But that's the key. So you identify, you confront. Now you got to know and realize what you're going to do next, the action you have to take. And always remember the principle, and I keep repeating this because it's important, because I think sometimes people forget. Indulge, but with restraint. There's nothing wrong with indulging on this path, but restrain, meaning be wise in your choices, be selective, you understand? And moderate. That means don't go buck wild crazy and lose your damn self to the point you can't find yourself no more. Moderate the shit, okay? Because anything in excess, anything extra overdone is what? Harmful, okay? Period. So always keep that in mind, all right? And everybody's asking you to elaborate, but we're not going to do that, Sharice. It's YouTube. We're being recorded, so no, don't do that.
Okay.
Now, if you want to email, that's another story, but you know what I mean? So keep that in mind as you work your process and your steps, because you're going to come to a point in the shadow work where you're going to have to take action, period. Okay? It's not enough to just identify it. You're going to have to take action. All right? So, like, for example, you may some people may all of a sudden realize they have a fetish for feet. Okay? They start looking at people's feet and they get turned on. That happens. I'm not telling you to go suck every toe you see. That's where restraint comes in. You understand? And being selective and indulge, but you can indulge. But you may realize this, okay? You may also find out that you have sadistic thoughts, like serial killer thoughts, okay? And you've actually contemplated, visualized, and actually seen how to murder someone. You got to deal with that shit too, okay? Now that shit's definitely illegal, so goddamn it, you better not. But when you identify that, you got to realize, yo, I have some serious thoughts of hurting people. So you got to identify. Once you identify it, you got to confront. Where did this shit come from? You might have been abused when you were young. You understand? You might have been hurt. You might have been really physically injured, and you anger and rage took hold and has made you want to seek revenge on people. So you got to figure these things out for yourself. You understand? But always be wise in how you do things. Okay? So no one can say, I told you to do something illegal. All right, YouTube, you hear that? Very good. All right. Thank you, Sharice.
You.
All right, Tasha Lotus Flower Bomb, you're next.
I'm good, just enjoying the show. But let me just ask you a question. Once you identify and say, okay, this is the source of it, then then what? What's next?
Okay, so you identify. Let's say you know. All right, this is what it is. You confront, meaning you find out where it came from. You got to do the shadow work, the ritual work, to see where it first began. Because everything that we are feeling now, some point in time, it began somewhere. The next step is to take action, which is destroying or devouring. Devouring basically means you're absorbing it, embracing it, and empowering yourself through it. So you may partake in certain things to do that. Destroying means that shit ain't gonna help me, no whatsoever. It's never gonna help me. It's something I should just eliminate, destroy it altogether. So then you have to do a ritual and act something to see yourself destroying that part of yourself you no longer need.
Okay. And also real quick, when you have dreams about like killing stuff, is that like equivalent to like killing off different aspects of your life?
Yes, 100, 100, and 100. There's certain times you'll see dreams and you're killing someone. Doesn't mean you're literally killing someone. It means you're killing a part of yourself in that you don't like about that person. That's why they showed up in a dream. By you killing them is killing that off in yourself. A lot of times that's what a symbolism in a dream represents. Is I'm killing that part of myself that I don't like that is reflected in that person. Okay? This is why sometimes y'all just can't stand the shit out of somebody and never really met them before. And all of a sudden you're in their midst and in front of them, you just looking at them sideways, upside down, every which way. It's not so much you can't stand them, because it's true that sometimes you just can't stand a person. That's true. I'm not going to deny that. But there's some part about them that really is resonating with you about something you really don't like about yourself.
Yeah.
And that part you may not like about yourself is what's getting in your head, aggravating, irritating you, and making you want to whip that person's ass. A lot of times that could be that. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's always the case, because sometimes a person just disrespects or violates you, right? You just gonna want to whip their ass, period. That's me. My biggest pet peeve is when people disrespect me or violate me in any which way. The rage and warrior comes out of me quick. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no questions asked or anything. I'm just going at it. And that's the part of myself I still work on, because sometimes when that happens, I literally still want to destroy that person. You understand? So I'm telling you from experience, because I know how that part works, is either destroy or devour. Okay? I learned to devour and absorb my rage and use it for something that's beneficial for me, something that can help me. Like when I feel like I'm procrastinating or bullshitting myself, I feel the rage coming up, but I direct it towards me and getting the work done. Instead of, you know what I mean, lackadaisical, lazy, and making excuses. Nah, screw that. I use that shit as energy and ammunition to get the work done.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. I got my mirror too, so I'm ready to get it popping.
All right, good. I'm looking forward. Some of y'all have been emailing me some of the results. Some real deep shit been coming out. But I look forward to hearing from other y'all.
Well, let me ask you one more thing. I'm sorry. Were you supposed to send us something in an email about what to do, or did I miss that?
Nope. Did you got the mirror ritual or no?
I think no. I just got the notes. That's it.
Okay, shit. All right, I'll email it to you. Hold on, while we're talking, let me just open this up and email it to you as we're talking.
Can you do it for me too? Dawn frame.
All right,
I didn't get it neither.
What's your email again?
DAWNNYD12@gmail.com.
All right. So let me just add this real quick while we're here, so I do not forget. Okay. All right, sent. And check y'all spam, because a lot of my emails been going to spam, so just check that again. I just sent it right now, but just check just to make sure before I get off here, so we know. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, let's go to Peter. Peter, what up, Peter? Oops. Shit is still muted. All right, you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good, man. I don't have any questions.
All right, cool. Did you receive the mirror ritual and everything else, right?
Yeah, I got it. I got it when you sent it over.
All right, cool. Just making sure. I appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Nikki A, are you there?
Yeah,
Nikki,
I'm here.
how you doing, Nikki?
Good. Now I don't have any questions, but I'm just glad to be here.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right.
I received it. Thank you.
All right, cool. Who just said that? I'm like, who? What? Okay. And let's go to 323.
363-3726.
Yes.
Hey,
How are you?
what's going on?
How you doing?
Good show. Good show. This is Susie.
Hey, how you doing, Susie?
Good. This was a really, really good show. Especially how you got in depth with I don't have the situation she had. I think it was Blair, but the way you helped her work through that, I could utilize that in what, in my situations.
True.
So, my question was, if you're okay, you even something that you said you're going through, like you said, if someone disrespects you, okay. I've had a situation at work where I've you know, like if you have a coworker that's going behind your back and trying to get you in trouble and this kind of foolishness and you're angry, right?
Yep.
When you say, because of course I would like to destroy the person. So when you say you use that energy, you channel it. So let's say you are at home. Now you're at home, you know, it's the weekend. And now you're procrastinating. Maybe you need to clean your garage or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So is that when you draw that individual into your head, like, oh, this person's freaking going to my supervisor and telling lies on me?
Yeah,
so you bring that.
Yes, visualize that individual, feel that rage rise up and say, you know what, I'm going to clean this garage while I'm cleaning it. I'm going to visualize stomping their face with everything I throw out, let's say.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, you know, that's just how to work it. So that way you don't have to do it, you know, do it physically and get to that point that jeopardizes yourself. But I am going to say this. I am going to say this, people. Okay, listen to this closely. If someone violates you to the point that your life is in jeopardy, by all means, unleash the beast. Unleash your anger. If your life is in jeopardy, unleash it. Okay? Because they've crossed the line, and all the energy and the forces of this dimensional universe we live in is on your side, because your life is in jeopardy. All right? So always remember.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What if it's not your life that's in jeopardy and it's like your integrity? Because that's different from your life. Because
let me ask you this. If your integrity is jeopardized, would that put your means of income in jeopardy?
Well, the reason I'm going to say well is because I work a county job, so it takes the act of Congress to get you fired. So
True.
It's not necessarily, I don't feel that I would be fired, but I mean, it puts I don't want to have a bad light put on me as an individual when I know that that's not my work ethic.
Right. Well, I'm going to just say this. If at any time you feel anything jeopardizes you, whether it's, you know, things like your integrity or things, because your integrity can reflect and have people look at you sideways at your job, then it takes Congress, but it can start the ball rolling where it all rolls downhill. Whenever things like that happen, okay, anything where you are in jeopardy of something that can affect your life drastically, okay, you have all the power and means in the world to enact a can of whoop ass. Now, if you're not able to handle this physically because it's going to lead you to a place you don't want to go, mainly prison, open up a can of whoop ass through some black magic rituals. Okay? I have plenty that I know and can use at any moment when that happens. You need them, just let me know. Okay?
Okay. So basically that person's giving you permission to fuck them up.
Yeah, because they violated you. They crossed the line. You understand?
Exactly. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then my next question is, I really wanted to get into that shadow work class, but I start vacation on the 29th through the 5th. Yeah, right in the holidays is when that came. So when is the next one going to come up? When are you going to have the next shadow work class? This really seems important.
After this class, we're going to have a necromancy class, then we're going to do another shadow work class. Okay?
How long is the necromancy class?
Sorry, I'm stubborn. Necromancy class probably be 8 weeks, so about 2 months. Maybe 8 to 10
months.
weeks. Yeah.
So you think about February or around February will be the next?
Probably towards the end of February. Probably the end of February. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Good to hear from you. All right, take care.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
All right, thank y'all. So, all right, quick announcement. The shadow work class, for those in the shadow work class, we're not meeting this week. We're meeting the next week to give you time to do the work. If anybody wants to join the shadow work class, I have room for 4 people. Try to get it done before the end of this week because you got to complete your homework by next week. Okay? So you definitely want to get in as soon as possible because it's going to take a little time to do this homework. What else? At the end of the month, Brother Benita and I probably not going to do a class probably at the end of this month or next month because of the holidays. We travel, we go, you know what I'm saying? So we're not going to be in the same areas to really do this. We're busy with family. So we probably might not have our next class together until January, okay? Because, you know, it's just busy time of the year. My other thing is, please, cut the conscious crap out. If you want to fucking enjoy the holidays, goddamn it, go enjoy the goddamn holidays. Do not let anybody make you feel guilty because you got a Christmas present. Shit, take that Christmas present, enjoy the goddamn shit, and play your goddamn video games if you get an Xbox or whatever. Because I sure know I'm getting gifts, and I'm gonna wear the shit out of my sneakers that I get or the goddamn video games or whatever I get. Do not let anybody make you feel guilty. Oh, you know that's a pagan holiday. Look, motherfucker, I don't care. Okay, because if you want to say Christmas, I say, you know what? That's just the winter solstice coming in. So what? Great, I celebrate it. Got a problem with it? Too bad. All right, that's all. Don't let people guilt you because you want to enjoy something. Because the problem is too many people still trying to guilt you. Oh, you know, then there's not fuck it. I don't care. Do you celebrate Christmas? You know what I tell them? That's right. God damn it. Get me a gift and shut the fuck up. Anyways, so enjoy y'all day. Enjoy y'all week. All right. And then I'll see y'all next week. I'll probably do a class next Sunday again. For all those, if you have a topic, listen, if y'all have a topic you want me to discuss, email it. Please don't make it a strange topic. Like, do aliens come and play with you at night? I don't give a damn if an alien comes play with me at night. Please. A topic that's on the left-hand path. Because people will send me shit that is really retarded. I'm like, really? You want me to talk about that? Really? Come on now. If anything you want to discuss on the left-hand path, hit me up and say, can you discuss this, Ravana, for next Sunday's class? I'm open to that. A lot of times when I come up with these topics, it's the night before. I'm not even thinking about it. I just say, okay, let me put this out there 1 or 2 days before, and that's it. So I don't have a problem with that. Hit me up, all right? And y'all have a great night. My ass is going to eat, okay? Have a great night, and I hope y'all, Blair, you better go get your dominatrix outfit. I want a picture by this week. Sharice, I want to hear what this craziness is. Y'all have a great evening. Our blessings. And we will see y'all next week. All right. Oh, thank you, KG. Perfect. I'll do next week class on Tiamat. Just remind me Wednesday, KG. I'll do next week's class on Tiamat. And that's one of the classes we're going to do down the road is working with Tiamat. Please be ready, people, because Tiamat is not a fluffiness. Tiamat's some straight raw chaos. And if you really want to work with Tiamat, you got to be ready. But yeah, KG, remind me Wednesday. So discuss Tiamat. Do a class on Tiamat, all right? Appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all. Dark blessings.